remember. There we go. Remember that after the test tomorrow, you will have the rest of the period to work on things that you have, projects that you have failing grades on, or things that you have missed or not completed somehow. It won't go on the progress report because they're due tomorrow, and you will just be giving them to me tomorrow. But you will have time in it. Then I would grade it for report cards. Okay. Questions? Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll start with 3.4. And again, those of you that did not take it yesterday, you're not going to get a 0 on it. Okay, so if you're taking it right now, don't worry because today's date will negate that, but it just won't count. Okay, so actually, if you didn't take it yesterday, take it while I'm going over it just so you can refer back to it. All right, so number 1, what is the correct sequence of commands to display graphics on your screen using TS app? And I really want you guys to pay attention to this because I think this order is, because there are several new things all at once with this, I think it is confusing some people. So obviously you're used to importing the library, so you have to import the TS app. You have to create the window instance, okay? And that's something that may be confusing, but remember that most of the things you had done so far, you were creating or coding where it was going in the console, but now you have a window. So you have to create an instance for it so that you have a place to put your background and sprites and text, etc. Okay? Then, and I really feel like number 3 should have actually been divided into 2 parts. You need to create your sprites, okay? But then you also, and you do that by making instances, but you also need to add them to the window.addObject instance name, okay? So those should be 2 separate things. And then the last one, to make it do anything, you have to have some sort of a loop, a main loop, okay? So those are your 4 things, 5 things, in my opinion, that you need in order to display graphics. I would, if I were you, make sure that you actually write that down, maybe put it in your Canvas ePortfolio, because I need you to go back and refer to that. Okay. Number 2, rewrite the main loop so it runs properly. It's missing something on line 3 where the while is supposed to be. And remember that you have to have while window is running. So if you have stuff there, a graphics window, you have to have while window is running. The main loop will continue as long as our window is open. Number 3 is asking for the coordinates in the following code. Now, I know that there have been some people in classes that have asked, oh man, I accidentally highlighted from 0 through 0 instead of just 0 and 0. It does say don't include commas or spaces, which is why I emphasize so much that you really need to read through the directions. Don't skip over things because you'll miss something important. But I have given people credit for those if they have, well, it depends on what it was, but if they have asked, I have given a lot of credit for those, okay? So the 0, 0, 300 and 350, whatever that says, 300 and 350, those are your coordinates. Number 4, which of the following variables is not a constant? Remember, what is the one thing appearance-wise or style convention about constants that's different than everything else? Yeah, it's all caps. The whole constant word or name is all caps. So if you look at those items there, there's only one thing that is not all caps, and that is user age. Also, Constant variable names should contain information we don't expect to change. That's why they are a constant. You know what else is constant? Me having to ask you to put your phones up. So I would like them put away once again. What is the name of the TS app class that is used to create string-based text on screen? And that is text label. And remember, for your class, you started off with a capital letter. In this case, there's 2 words, so they're both getting capital letters there. All right, questions on 3.4. Okay, let me move this, and we're going to go to 3.3. Feel free to go open that up so you can look along with it. 3.3 was on Tuesday, January 18th. Okay, so 3.3, we're looking at classes. And the first question says identify the class in this code. Remember, the class has a capital letter to start it off. So that is player on line 1. Jay Hernandez was an instance in the player class. And then Jay Hernandez dot defensive position. Defensive position was your attribute. And then shortstop was your value of that attribute. Remember, attributes describe something about the instance. Number 2, highlight only the attribute name in the following code. Be precise. So an attribute comes after the dot operator on the instance they refer to. So building, it would be the instance. Dot residential would be the attribute. Add a line of code that sets Jay Hernandez's throwing hand attribute to left. Use all lowercase letters. So Jay Hernandez, we saw that the defensive position was an attribute. So all we have to do is add another one. Jay Hernandez dot throwing hand equals left. And remember, your value goes inside quotes. Number 4, which of these statements is an accurate description of this line of code? Swing bat is a method that Jay Hernandez can perform. Remember that a method is something you can do. It's an action, and it goes with the instance. In this case, Jay Hernandez swings the bat. 5, the insect class takes a number of legs as an argument. Change the code below so that the neon hopper has 6 legs. So you should have 6 inside the parentheses as your argument. Questions over 3.3. Okay. Now, one of the things that I want to make sure that you guys understand is, remember here in your assignment panel, you have this big blue plus sign at the top. And I still see phones out in people's hands. You can click on this code and you can copy and paste code from a question into there. Sometimes it's easier when you're analyzing code to see it run or not run, for that matter, not just look at it and read it. Feel free to copy or type code into one of those, test it out, see if it works, see what needs to be changed, do some trial and error on it. Okay? All right, so next one is going to be 3.2. Hang on. 3.2. And it was on Monday, January 10th. Okay, this is on controlling loops. So what statement will immediately end a loop? That is the break statement. It immediately ends a loop and skips all remaining iterations. What statement is used to immediately end an iteration? Now, guys, I want to make sure that you see the difference between these two questions. What statement will immediately end a loop? That means it's quitting the loop. This next one asks what's used to immediately end an iteration, which means one time through the loop. Okay? So continue ends the iteration, and then it restarts the loop. Okay? So it's like it skips a turn. Number 3, highlight the word representing the condition that could end this loop early. Be precise. If you look, you have an if statement on line 6 that says, if injured, print you are injured, you should stop running, and then break. So if the answer to that was yes, we know it is going to quit and end this loop. So injured is the condition. Number 4, in what case would the loop else clause not run? It would not run if the break statement is run within the loop block. So if the break comes within the loop, then the loop else does not run, because that is technically part of the loop. And then number 5, insert a statement in the while loop that will cause it to print all numbers except for 400. In this first case, it's just going to increment by 1, and there's a blank here, so it's not really doing anything with this condition if num equals 400. So if we did num equals 400 continue, it breaks that iteration and restarts the loop. That means it's going to count from 1 through 399, and then again from 401 through 1000. Questions? Okay, one more, 3.1, and this is the one that we did on the second day back from school. Thought it was a little early to take a real grade, so I just gave you a completion grade for doing it on that day, which was what day? Monday, oh, I just chose the wrong one again. Hang on. Which was Wednesday, January 5th. Okay. So, this is while loops. What is not a possible benefit of using a while loop? That is the third one. It allows you to use code from outside your program. Remember that while loops do allow you to repeat code without having to rewrite it. It can make your code shorter. Number 2, how many times does this while loop run? It starts at 1, and while it is less than or equal to 5, it is going to print and increment. So the correct answer is 5. Number 3, highlight the condition check during each iteration of our loop. So what they're checking is while time is less than or equal to 12, so time less than equal to 12, do not include the colon. Number 4, what term refers to each repetition of a while loop? Iteration. Each time it goes through that while loop, it is considered an iteration. Okay? It's one repetition through the loop. And then number 5, add the missing line to fix this infinite loop. You see that nothing happens here in the initial example because the number is 5, and while it's greater than 0, it just is going to continue to print that number. So the solution is to decrement num by 1 so that 5 becomes 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. And then once it gets to 0, it's going to break out of the loop because the condition is that it's greater than 0. Questions? Okay. Then let me go ahead and pull up today's lesson, which is the meme maker. And the meme maker, I'm going to go through this pretty quick because I'm pretty sure y'all know what a meme is. What you are going to do, if you run this solution, you're going to see that you have a list of possible meme templates. Party fish, pan rabbit, what the bat, cautious frog, working fly, and you as the user select one of those. So I will try party fish. What should the caption say for party fish? Suggestions? Say that again. All right. I shall just put in a simple phrase. Okay, so you have your party fish, says party. Notice that the fish is centered horizontally and vertically on a background. If I did this again and chose the same one, it gives me a different background. And that's because there is a random background, meme background 1 through 5. You will have your code pick different ones 1 through 5. Okay? It has to have a background. It should randomize. The image will not be random, and I'll show you in a second the possible choices. And it should be centered, and then you should have the image, have the caption underneath it. Okay? The other one is opened. Let me pop that up. All right, so in the assignment panel, remember your input is what the user does. So the user picked an image. They also input the caption for the image. The output is the meme that was chosen based on the input. Okay? So again, you have 3 things that are going to be on there. A background, an image, and notice that you have the backgrounds and the images already there in the project panel. And then you get the caption from the user. There are challenges listed here. And the Code Assist, if you go to Code Assist TS app and look under graphics, you are going to see different things you need. You're going to see color constants that can be used. Come on. You are, going to see the graphics window code, the different things that should be there, from the constructors to the methods to the variables that go with it. Okay? So use that TS app to help you work through it. Use previous lessons you have completed to help you with syntax. Okay? Remember to hit submit when you are done. Let me know if you need help. If you finish before the bell, please take that time to go back and finish anything else. And if you do finish something, write me a note or shoot me an email. And then again, tomorrow is the test, and the second half of the period will be catching up. It's not socialization time because some people need to be catching up, okay? And neither is today when you finish.